Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And once again, it is time to sweat a little bit because Heroes Jubilee Catalyst 10 is now here. And fair warning, it is not free-to-play friendly. Just gonna throw that out to you right now. If you don't have the new light team, your scores are going to suffer greatly. You can still do it. It's not going to be great. So I think I'm going to split this video up into the try-hard video and the less try-hardy video. So there will be 2 Jubilee videos this time. And maybe I'll do that from this point forward, since I know a lot of people do enjoy that I split it up. And they want to see other strategies. So this one will be focused on super whaley tryharding, so you know what the optimum strategies are. And then the next video will be less, at least not focused on the new meta units, I guess is how we'll put that. But I always have, the 3 disclaimers of your results may vary based on dupes and levels of units. Protection gauge, which I'll throw up here. These are the 3 units you need to start out with half a meter protection gauge or more now that we have Rimuru. And then don't forget to optimize your magic buildings in town, so your whatever stage you're doing, whatever team you're trying to run, you are getting the most out of it. So very quick disclaimers. Images will be thrown up the entire time of what I'm talking about. But with that said, let us begin the dive into the normal fights. Now I'm still working on optimizing a few of these, but I mean, I'm number 4. I can't get much better. I mean, I can, but I'm actually missing some dupes on some units, so we're going to go into Normal Battle 1. So with that said, let's take a look at the team. Alright, let's start the game off with Normal Battle 1. Probably one of the more interesting normal battles that we've had in Jubilee so far, because there are a few things going on based on what turn you are on, what turn you go into the next phase, quality of units that you're going to use. So we're going to show off 2 teams here. We're going to show off this team, which is pretty not so RNG dependent because we have Hakuro, and then we have a team that is the epitome of RNG. So this is the easy way, and then I'll show you the hard way. Obviously the hard way has a lot more points, but it took me literally all day to do it, so be grateful that I have the recording still. So this Hakuro is the protector, obviously, for the RNG. We have Gobta as a single target physical attacker, along with his crit buff. Valentine as a single target magic damage dealer. Shuna's here for the orb change. You can use anyone else that does 2 blues to 2 greens. It really doesn't matter. She's only here for that. We have Windmillin for her buff, and then the hero for the buff and the rewind. So pretty straightforward team. Let's jump in. Alright, so here we are, Normal Battle 1. Fairly straightforward. Shuna's up front to do the orb change, which will give us a Hakuro meter. However, one thing to notice right here as we pause is that he buffed his magic resistance. So that is a theme in this fight. Certain enemies buff their magic resistance, some enemies buff their physical resistance, so, especially when you're nuking, and they have those resistances up, you want to make sure you're nuking the right one, because if you use my Valentine to nuke someone who has a lot of magic resistance, you're not going to do as much damage, therefore your overkill's not going to be as good. So you have to pay attention to who's doing what and who you are hitting. So right here, it doesn't really matter, because we're just going to orb change and send 6, and we're going to kill him. But it comes into factor, especially more for the super sweaty version of this stage. So we're going to switch in the hero now, that way we can try and get her ult. Honestly, if you want to do maximum power, you want to have all 3 of their ults. You want to have Gobta, Valentine, and the hero, but sometimes it doesn't work like that. And sometimes you only get 2 ults, which of course is going to mainly be Valentine and Gobta. So here, we have a decent hand. We have 4 oranges, so I'm debating whether or not to send the 3 Gobtas, and maybe that will get his ult, or just the 4 oranges, and get nobody's ult, but I can't get Gobta's ult. If that was another orange, then we'd be fine and dandy. However, we're still going to rewind here, because we need to. So I end up sending the 4 oranges just on the one target. You can see that they both have the physical resistance up, so all of these hits are not going to do too much damage. And he's actually not going to die because of that resistance. But the rewind will kick in here. And now we've got most of a Hakuro meter to after we're said and done. Plus we have the protection gauge from Hero and Rimuru going to come into play on turn 3. So we're just going to send all 6 of these. And we're going to get Gobta's ult, we're going to get Valentine's ult, because those are the most important ones. We finish up this phase and move on to phase 3. Now depending on where you go into phase 3, they could put resistance up immediately, or they could not have it at all, which right here, they don't have it at all. But we have a Hakuro meter, we have a full points, so now we're going to full buff. So we're going to hero buff, we're going to use the resistance for Valentine, and then the crit buff for Gobta. We're also going to swap in Valentine, or not, we're going to swap in Milim for the hero, pop Hakuro, get those 55 points, and then do the alt boost as well. So, alt boost, magic resistance, and the crit buffs. Now you got to pay attention to who's being resisted or lowered for their magic resistance. So now, lower their health as much as you can. So I'm going to send 1 magic card from Milim on the middle, because he's weak to it. Then we're going to ult with Valentine. We're going to send another Milim card on the left, and then hit with Gobta, and then we'll finish up with a Gobta and a Valentine on the right side. Spreading the damage, doing as much as we possibly can. Again, a good scenario for this would be having everything plus the hero ult to kill that last unit, but it didn't work out like this. But I think we end up with about 62,000 points right here, which, I mean, isn't bad for a quick run, right? Yeah, 62.5. Definitely can be better. There are many different strategies, many different teams you can use for this normal one, so like, test it out, give it a try. This team works for quick runs, right? If you're farming tickets, whatever. But there is a sweatier option, which I will show you now. Okay, look at this janky team. Look at this team. It's mostly good. It's mostly standard. You know, you've got Veldora, you've got Cabby, you've got Milim, you've got Carry, and you've got Hero. What could go wrong? And then you have Space Hakuro. Space Hakuro, who is an orb changer, who is a physical damage dealer, and who also is not terribly high leveled. I mean, he's 96, yeah, sure, but this team requires a butt ton of RNG. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. But the name of the game is gigantic amounts of damage, like Milim is always doing. So we want to get as many Veldora stacks as we can and have enough points on turn 6, not 3 like the Earth team that we used earlier, turn 6, to nuke the crap out of everyone. And I'm talking either Carrion ult, Milim ult, and the Hero ult, or Milim ult and the Hero ult. Mostly the Hero ult and the Milim ult. Because this team, I know it doesn't really look like it here, but none of them have weapons, except for Milim and Hero, and then Ranga and Space Rimuru. Because we don't want to kill too fast, because we want to build up to turn 6. But these enemies are kind of wet noodles. Even with their resistance up, I mean, a good level team is going to kill them in like 2 or 3 hits. So this team requires a certain amount of precision and planning, and I will show you that in this upcoming segment because there's no way I can replicate it live. So let's jump in. Okay. Let's have some fun, right? Let's have some fun. So, Hakuro's here because he has the same orb change as Winshuna does, 2 blue to 2 green. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and bring in both Milim and the Hero. Eventually. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing right now. Eventually. Okay. Sorry. We'll just fast forward through that. We're going to send all 6. Okay, that gets us a Veldora meter, gets us a good amount of points, it starts getting us the ults. Now, however, we don't have Hakuro anymore, so we can't guarantee that we have a 6 hand of orange. So we got to do what we can here. So both enemies have buffed their physical resistance, and we've got 3 Milim and 3 Carrion. Not the greatest thing in the world, but we'll work with it. So here, I need Milim's ult more than anything else in the world. I need Milim's ult. So we're going to send those and see she kills one of those guys in 2 hits. But we have her ult now. So we're going to go ahead and pop the Drago and then get her out of there. Because we want to make sure to use the Drago early, because really I'm only going to have enough time to get 180 skill points, and that does not leave us with an extra 15 to use her Drago skill. Or you'd have to, choose whether you want the crit boost from Carrion or Drago. And why am I taking so long to do my moves here? Okay, here we go. Sorry, we're all zooming around. There's the Drago. We're going to swap her out for Hakuro. Now, we've got a 5-card send of greens, which we're going to do. We're going to kill this thing, but it's okay. We're already on turn 3, so we have not used the rewind yet. I'm not worried about a turn 3 kill, obviously. I'm worried about getting the maximum amount of buffs. So here, now we've popped their resistance. So if we pause this right here, you can see the middle one has magic resistance up, and then the 2 knights have physical resistance. So you need to take that into account when you're playing with this team, because you need to attack the people that you're weak against, or that who have resistance against you, because you want to last 2 more turns to get to a nuking phase. Because I need another Veldora, and then I need 40 points. And you can't do that if you kill them here. So let's unpause this, and I believe we're going to think real hard about what I want to do right here. So we're going to send... We have 3 physical damage dealers here, though, which is good. So we're going to spread the damage out between the 2. So 1, 2, and we do barely any damage. Again, my gear is off for most of the units except for the hero and Milim. Now, one thing to note is they actually do a decent amount of damage, because they have a guaranteed pierce rate and 100% pierce power and crit power and all that, so they hurt. I've had runs where Hakuro dies because they just triple target him and he just falls. So it's unfortunate. We're going to get Milim in here. That way we can pop Veldora, get the stack on both her and the hero, and then we're going to get her back out, because I don't want to waste that Drago skill. So now we've got 4 oranges, but I don't want to use them. Or do I use them? I do use them. All right. I'm trying to see what gets me what, because I need the hero ult, right? I need the hero ult, and I need 40 points to get to 180. So we're going to play around with who I'm targeting. So magic, because he's strong against it. Physical, and physical since he has more health. So now we've got a good amount of hero cards here. And we're at 179 points. And we're also on turn 6. So turn 6, turn 7, it's up to you. If you can pull it off on turn 6 or turn 5, then by all means, have at it. If you get some godly RNG, more power to you. I didn't have that luxury, so we're going to push turn 7. I also want to try and get extra Veldora. That way we get 1 more stack, so we're just going to send these 3 here. And we're spreading out the damage again. Alright, so as long as we can get the hero's ult, then we're going to be okay. So I choose the weakest units that we have to attack. So 1 Milim, 1 hero, and 1 Hakuro. So now we have 180 points. We have the hero ult, we have the Milim ult in the back, and we've got another Veldora stack, so when we bring Milim in, we can buff her up again. And see, the hero's almost dead. It's not great. Sometimes they just target you. So now we're looking pretty good. The middle guy has a little bit more health than I would like him to have, but it is what it is. So there's the ult boost, and then we're going to go ahead and bring Milim in for Milim. Now Hakuro doesn't have any cards, which is good, because it doesn't matter where we bring Carrion, because he's not going to affect anything. So let's get another stack of Veldora. And now we're going to crit boost, space boost, and crit boost again. Or, well, the different crit boost, right? 0 points. We're capped out. But because we're so buff now, I can't hit that middle mage now because he'll straight up die. So it is what it is. So right here, we're making sure that my Milim is targeting the knight on the right because he has the physical resistance up, and Milim is a magic damage dealer, right? So we want to make sure that we're hitting the right unit. And then we're going to send it with the hero because we have to AoE, regardless of who's weak against who. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, and we're checking to make sure she is a magic damage dealer, which she is. So we are targeting the right person. So Milim comes in hot with 141.2, and then the hero cleans up with like 49 and 58,000 damage. And that gives us a grand total of 81,000 points, which is just about 20,000 more than the team I used earlier. If you have patience, if you have RNG, and if you really want to do this team and try and be a sweaty tryhard like that, you can achieve a score. Some of the sweaty tryhards have achieved higher scores. I think someone is at 91k just because their Veldora is stronger and they have more dupes and everything like that, and they got a little bit luckier, and it was turn 6, I think, for them. So many factors. You can get higher than 81 if you believe. But that's the sweaty version of that stage. Let's move on to normal battle 2 now. Moving on to our first team that you can use for normal battle 2. Earth team, kind of. Earth and space and light, and it's all over the place. Hakuro, Windmillum for the boost, Valentine for the DPS. If you notice, I did use shards on my Earth Valentine finally. She is now 92. I finally gave in to decide to use 10 shards on her. Probably worth. She's pretty worth. We already know that. And then Gazel is here with Rimuru for the extra protection gauge on turn 1. And then the hero and Carrion are in the back for their support buffs. So here, you're looking for, most of the time, you're looking for Gazel and Valentine's single target alts, and then either the hero or Carrion's alt. If you can't get all three, then 2, but Valentine and Gazel are going to be your main nukers for this stage. So let us throw this video up, and I think I gotta find the right place, so let's zoom. Zoom. Yeah, we'll find it. Okay, so we're gonna start off the fight by swapping in Carrion for his orb change. That way we get a full 6 card send of blues, and also just about, well, actually I think we'll end up getting 2 full Hakuro meters. They do seal our defenses, our crit, our defense, and our pierce resist up, but it really doesn't matter because they barely hit like a noodle. So Carrion's gonna come in for Windmillum. We don't need her for her ult. So orb change here. And then we're going to spread the damage out a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This gets us just about... Actually, it'll get us 2 because of the Reamer that's attached to Gazel. So that's 2 full protection meters right there. It's pretty good. And it works well in our favor. So they hit for 947. Crit rate, crit damage up, 732. And pierce up, and we guarded that, so 200 damage. So really suffering from their sealing our defenses. So this is actually not an optimal scenario right here because we only have 1 Gazel card. We have 2 Valentine cards, which is nice, but it's not really what we're looking for here. So let's go ahead and pop out... Let's still pop out Carrion, though. Let's gonna pray that we get some more Gazel cards after this. So we're gonna rewind here. And then we're gonna use Hakuro. That way we get ults, we get 40 points, and we can start working. Because between this hand and then the rewind hand, we'll get another Hakuro meter. Unless we really get shafted. So we'll send that. Okay. So that's a hero ult. Cool, I guess. And a Valentine ult. Very good. Okay. Alright, we've got them into the red, so now we can start focusing down on the other shark during the rewind turn. Hopefully we get some Gazel cards. kind of. Kinda. Alright. So here, we're gonna swap out our Valentine for Windmill him because we need the protection gauge turn 3. And we're gonna want, you know, full meter, because we kind of got shafted here. So I really want to make sure that we can get what we need. Now, we're not going to get a Gazel ult, which is super unfortunate. But between Millim, Hero, and then Space Reamer that's underneath Hero, and then the Light Reamer, we're going to get 2 gauges right here. So we'll be okay. And we'll just have to nuke 1 and 1, I guess. So we're going to send this, pop, pop, and pop. Alright, there's a hit. And we counter, hopefully we don't kill. Okay. Please don't counter. We can counter you, I don't really care. And we don't, okay. So there we go. There's 2 full meters. So let's go ahead and use Windmill's ult boost. Now again, you're really looking for Gazel to have his ult and not the hero, but we'll run with it. So we've used Windmill'em, so let's go ahead and swap her out for Valentine. And now we shall take out Gazel for Carrion, since he serves no purpose really anymore. We're going to use Hakuro. And now we're going to use the hero boost. And then the magic resist down. Actually, we'll use the crit boost. And then we'll use the magic resist down on you. And there's 0 points. Technically, we don't need another Hakuro meter. You could put another support in if you wanted. The next team I show you definitely needs both Hakuro meters to run that, and it will give you a higher score, but this is just one example, right? So here, we're going to... see, how much health do you have left? You have 15,000 left. So I'm going to send 1-1. I'm going to send the ult on the one that's magic resisted down, and then I'm going to send the hero ult. Hopefully this doesn't kill. Okay, good. Perfect. So now Valentine's going to ult the middle. 60,000. It's pretty good. And then the hero cleans up with 25, so definitely not as good. But it is what it is. That is one team that you can use. If you have Earth Valentine, you have Hakuro. So that gets us a score of 49-3. It's not bad. Definitely not bad. I think mine is like 51 or something, so it's not far off. But let's take a look at the next team that you can use for normal 2. Alright, the alternate team for normal battle 2 is going to look like this. A space team. Hakuro, Romerus, for their protection gauge and their trait. Frey serves no other purpose here than being a space unit to buff up Millim's EX board. It's the only reason she's here. We don't need her. You could easily replace her with the new Light Reamer if you have him. That way you can get extra protection gauge for the first 3 turns. But if you don't fret about it too much. Carrion's here for his boost, single target ult. Hero is the hero, Millim is Millim, Windmill'em is here for the ult boost. The idea is to enter turn 3 with full points and 2 full Hakuro meters. And then preferably an ult with Carrion, Millim, and the hero. So with that said, let's dive in. Alright, let's show off how good this space team is, and with the useless Frey. Alright, so it's still going to run the same, right? You're still looking for the Hakuro meter, but this time you're looking for 100 points and 2 Hakuro meters. That way you can ensure that you have enough points to use all of the big buffs. So here, obviously, we're going to use Carrion's Orb Change. Don't get it confused with Frey's. Alright, so now we're going to swap Frey out for Millim, and then we're going to spread the damage out again. So the same as we were doing in the first video, making sure that we can lower everybody, but, you know, focusing more on 2 than kind of doing all 3. Just, it's how I like to do it. I mean, you can do it however you really feel like. You could 2-2-2. You could send 5 and then 1. It really doesn't matter. As long as you don't kill them, right? So again, they don't hit very hard. You're still looking to build up as much as possible. So here, you know, 6 Hand of Blues gets you a lot. We're going to rewind, and then we're going to Hakuro. Therefore, we're going to get everybody's ult. So, again, spreading the damage out. Another 4 and 2, like I like to do. There we go. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then switch over. 5 and 6. Alright, so it gets us Millim's ult and the hero's ult. Not quite Carrion's ult, though, but that's okay. We have the rewind. But we have to make sure that we have 2 Hakuro meters as well. Alongside, so right here, on the rewind, we already have Millim's ult. Awesome, great, fantastic. Let's get her out of there. And unfortunately, we don't get any more Carrion cards, when there's nothing we can do about that. But we have Millim's ult, we're going to use the Drago, get that skill out of the way. We're going to swap her out for Wind Millim, therefore on turn 3 we can take advantage of her protection skill again, and guarantee that we have double meters. So we're going to spread the damage. We got 1 hit on the middle one just to lower his health a little bit more, and then we'll start sending on the right shark. Now we've got 100 points, 2 Hakuro meters, the ult with the hero, and the ult with Millim in the back. And again, if you were looking for like super perfect, you would have the Carrion ult as well. And this exact setup, so you'd have Carrion's ult, Hero's ult, Millim would be out already, therefore you could use the ult boost and then swap her in, or swap the other Millim in for her. And therefore everybody could get every single boost. It didn't quite work out, but it is what it is. So we'll use Hakuro here, we'll get more points, we'll use the space boost, and we'll use the crit boost. And then 1 more Hakuro meter is going to give us just enough points to use the hero's crit boost. And then we're ready to go. We do have to lower that right shark's health down more. So be careful with what you send, right? Millim is fully boosted, so I can't really do anything else like that. Like if I sent anything else, that shark would have been dead. But we nuke the middle one for 109,000. The hero cleans up with 40,000, and we get a pierce on the other one, which didn't really increase our damage that much. But here we go. There's a space team, and our final score is 53,000. So, you know, it's actually better than the other one, and I got a higher score there too. So 53,000. The space team, a little bit more reliable for damage output, but if you don't have the space team, you have Gazel, you have other single target damage dealers that you can at least reliably nuke with, it will work out. But that's normal 2. Let's move on to the tankiness that is normal 3. Alright. Normal Battle 3 is Normal Battle 3 is always the same. It's always one enemy who has defense and guard. However, this particular Normal Battle 3 has a lot of defense, and a lot of guard, and a lot of health. So, it doesn't die nearly as fast as the previous Normal Battle 3s, which gives us time. Again, the max turn bonus technically is turn 3. However, if you can do enough Big Daddy damage, you can offset the turn bonus that you lose for just straight up pure points of overkill, which is what we're shooting for today. We're not going for turn 3 kills. You certainly can try with like a Hakuro team. You could even try it with the same team and just nuke it, 3 turns early. But this team, this strategy, I'm only going to do this one, is going for a turn 6 kill. And it opens with a Hinata hand. That way, that's why Hinata's here. If you don't have Hinata, things get a little more interesting for you. You can try the Kenya strategy if you really dare. Or you can just bring another orb changer to go alongside Carrion that changes the green to orange. Like 1 green to 1 orange. You could do that. But you've got Hinata, use Hinata. So this is what we're going to run with. Hero, Carrion, Millim, Veldora stacks. It's the same deal over and over again. Let's get in there. Okay. So, like I said, starting with the Hinata hand, defense and guard goes up. It's kind of hard to get through. You don't do a lot of damage. Even with Millim, you don't do a lot of damage. So we're going to swap Millim in for Hinata now. We don't need her. And we're going to send oranges. Unfortunately, Hinata's orb change is not quite as good as the more recent ones, because obviously you can see we don't have a full protection meter, even though we have full protection units. She only gives like 5% instead of like 10% that some units are giving now. Unfortunate, It just shows that she's been power crept out. So here, again, we're going for long-term play. We've got 4 more turns to burn through, right? So we're going to bring Milim in for the protection meter on turn 3 with the hero and Milim giving us as much as possible to build up as many stacks of Veldora as possible. So we're going to burn a turn. Now we have Veldora. So we're going to pop that because I want stacks. Stacks on stacks on stacks. We can bring Carrion back in for Milim because she's no longer important. We've already used her protection skill. We're going to rewind here. We're going to use Veldora. And then, do I orb change here? I actually don't remember. No, we're just going to send the 2 Carrion cards and pray that we get 1 more orange so we can make full use of Carrion's orb change, which I believe works out. Indeed it does. We get, 5 blues, which, okay, cool. Extra. So now we've got a 6 hand of blues to send. That gets us, I think, 2 meters of Veldora, so double stack right there. Looking pretty good so far. So we've got Milim coming in hot. Even with a 200% boost, she only does 3,000 damage. Like, that shows you how tanky this thing is. But we're about to lay waste to him in about 2 more turns. So boost here. Boost here. Alright, we're going to use the Drago, and we're going to send Milim away. Again, because I want to build up enough points. We're also going to use the Carrion buff. Get her out of there. That way we don't have to build up quite as much. We can get 165 points and still be okay. We just have to get to 165 now in 2 turns. So we're going to send the ults. We're going to send those. It'll get us very close. 127. And 10,000 damage from Carrion. Not great. Hero does less. 8,000. Cool. We have 1 more turn. His defenses and guard lower on turn 6, which is why we're going till turn 6. Because you could nuke him now, but you'll do significantly less damage. Even if you have all the points, you will do a butt-ton less damage. So you're just going to wait it out. So you can see his buffs are blinking, they'll leave on turn 6. This will give us 187 points, which is more than enough to use the crit boost, ult boost, and space boost, because we've already used the crit damage and the Drago effect for this very reason, where you don't have to really pray that you have 180 points or 195 even. You can just do 165 and anything else is extra. So we only have Carrion and hero cards, which, is a good thing that we used Carrion's buff earlier, because we don't want to switch out the hero because we want hers, but we also don't really want to miss out on Carrion's buff, so this worked out very well. So now we're going to use everything here. His health is very low, 10,000, so we've got everything used. So we send 1 card, pray to God that it doesn't kill, and then we nuke for 135,000 damage. It's about the highest I've gotten. So what do we get here? Like 63? 62,000. I think 63 is my highest. Ignore that score, that's an old score. But that is normal battle 3. Nuking with Milim, waiting until turn 6, getting as many buffs as many stacks of Veldora as possible, and then moving on with your life. So, normal battles are done. Let's move on to the fun boss battles now. Alright, now the fun truly begins. Boss Battle 2 is where we're going to start, and this is the quote-unquote optimum team to use. All of the light units. We've got Shizu, we've got Rimuru, we've got Shinsha, Shion, and Daggerel. So this is the format. We've got light Romners, 1 because she's, a light protector, and 2, she's got the trait of, what, I think like 3 or 6% extra attack if you're over 75% HP. So the idea is that all of these boss fights, all of them, are turn 2 kills, which with this team you can do. Without this team, you might be able to do it. You might have to push to turn 3. Now, turn 3 is definitely fine. I mean, you'll still get a good score. Like when I was on stream, I was doing turn 3s, and I was still getting decent numbers, right? So you can definitely do turn 3. If you have to, you can push further, but just know that your score is going to get worse, obviously. But the optimum turn to kill, max turn bonus, is turn 2. And I will define how all of this team works in the fight, so let me just bring that up right here. Alright, and I think this is all of it, yeah. These fights are not long, obviously. 2 turns. So we start off with Shinsha, the hero, and Rimuru. Rimuru for the protection gauge, and we've got a 4-2 spread, so it's perfect for Dagger's Orb Steal. You can definitely swap in Earth Benimaru for the Orb Steal, and still make use of that. Just know that you're going to miss out on Dagger's second skill with the Light Resist down. But you're going to steal into a 6-card hand. You're going to then bring in Xion, so you can guarantee you get her ult. Turn 2. So full send this. And this is 2, so he's going to take a good chunk of health out. Okay. This is a very point-specific team. Like, at the end of the fight, you will have 0 points. When you're ready to send everything, you will have 0 points. So here, we've got 3 hero cards, 2 Rimurus. Not great. We would prefer to have more Xion cards, but it is what it is. We're going to rewind here. We're going to use Xion's... Okay, we're going to use rewind first, I guess. Alright. We're going to use Xion's Orb Change and Rimuru's Pierce Resist down, because the Pierce is good for 2 turns. It also increases our Secret Skill gauge, and then Xion also gives us extra skill points. You have to use those 2 skills. You can't use Rimuru's extra 15% green damage. You're not going to have enough points to do what you need to do. So now we're going to swap the hero out for Daggerl, or whoever else you have in the back, or whatever light unit you have, so you're not missing out on weakness damage. And then you're going to pop Shizu. Now, this only gets you a 90% pierce rate, so there is a little bit of fishing involved, because you don't have enough points to do anything else. But you're going to have to pray that you never hit that 10% negative spot, right? So here we go. We have sent the 5 greens, we have rewinded now, and we have 55 points exactly. Exactly. So, right here, you're going to use Daggerl's Light Resist down, and then swap him out for Shinsha, or swap whoever out who's, weaker. Shinsha, you're going to pop her light boost up by 15 points, and then you're going to pop Xion's attack boost, therefore you're getting the most out of her pierce stacks. And then you're going to send whatever cards you have most. Hopefully, in the perfect scenario, you'd have a lot of Xion's to do is, get his health as low as possible. But here we go, here's the kill. 77.3 on turn 2, and that gets us a final score of like 125, 126, somewhere around there. Yeah, 125. So that is the 2-turn strategy. You have to have all these units to make it work perfectly. Like I said, you can definitely swap out Daggerl for Earth Benimaru. At least you have the Orb Steal, and you can guarantee you get Xion's ult. But you won't have access to his Light Resist down, so your damage won't be as good on the nuke. But, I mean, that's the same strategy for all of the fights. I'm going to show Boss Battle 3 and EX, just so you know what you kind of need and what, your hands get very specific to do the most damage possible. It ends up being you need a bunch of Xion cards. But let's move on to Boss Battle 3. Alright. Like I said, Boss Battle 3, the exact same strategy. You're still Orb Stealing with Daggerl, and then swapping in Xion for the 6-card send. And then you're going to rewind, use Xion's Orb Change and Rimuru's Pierce Resist down, and then use Shizu after you swap in the next light unit. It's the same exact strategy, it's just he has more health, and you need a little bit more luck with your orbs when you're ready to actually nuke on the rewind turn. Because if you don't have a bunch of Xions that are boosted, his health is not going to be as low as you would like it to be. So, here's the 6-card send. The blue and orange are only meter nerfed, they're not damage nerfed, so it doesn't really matter what order you send the orbs in, because you're guaranteed to get her ult. Just flat out. You're gonna get it. So here, we have 2 Xion cards, which is okay, and we can see that we have at least one more coming. So, I mean, it's an okay start. It's better than what we had for Boss Battle 2, where we had a bunch of Rimuru cards on the final send. So there we've used the rewind, we've used the orb change, and we've used the pierce resist down. 1 extra point left over. Gonna flip in Daggerl for the hero, and then we're going to use Shizu for the full orb change and the 90% pierce. And then we're going to send the 5. So Dagger, Rimu, Shion. This will get him, okay, unless he guards. So, I mean, yeah, his guard rate really went up lately. So on the rewind, you're looking for a bunch of Shion because he has like half his health left, more than that. And we got 2 Shion. We got 3 oranges though, so I mean we can work with that because we'll have the last hit be Shion. So there is the light resist down. Here comes Shinsha. We'll use her light boost up, and then we'll use Shion's attack boost. And then we're going to send the 3 oranges, and then the ult, and this will kill. Again, just depending on how many Shion cards you have is how low his health is going to be, because, yeah, we're not doing too much damage right here. He's at like a third. Obviously we want him lower, but it's definitely enough to kill. So that's boss battle 3. I don't need to show boss battle EX, it's the same team. You're still looking for Shions. So I think we'll end today's video here, and let me know if this video helped you down in the comments. Again, I will make a less new light meta specific guide for boss battles. Probably tomorrow, the day after this video goes out, I'll post that one as well. That way, people get a fair shot. But again, let me know if this video helped you out. That's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.